Yeah, Amy, over the course of the next few weeks, we're going to actually be taking an in-depth look at some of the amendments that are being proposed on the ballot when you go to vote on November 3rd, rather, of 2020. Today, we're going to take a closer look at what's being called Amendment 3. This would actually change the way elections run in our state. Amendment 3 would open up the voting pool to allow voters to support independent candidates on their ballots. The amendment essentially moves Florida from a closed primary state, in which only registered Republicans and Democrats are allowed to vote, to voters who are registered as no party affiliation. This could make all the difference for voters who are undecided or for voters who aren't sure they want to vote for the Republican or Democratic candidate.
But what the amendment does do is it empowers voters. When you allow 3.8 million voters into the process, that will have an impact. And the impact will be, it'll make Florida government more responsive to and reflective of Florida's diversity.
Glenn Burhans is part of this group called All Voters Vote, a political committee that's been working to get this amendment on the ballot and raising the money to do so. He says the number of no party affiliated voters has risen in our state over the last few years, but others are concerned that the structure of this bill actually makes it less fair for voters because it relies on a top two result system that would send the top two candidates to the general election even if they're from the same party.
You wouldn't have a primary, a Democratic primary and a Republican primary for governor. Under this new form, it would just be the governor's primary. And you could have 20 candidates running there. Both political parties in Florida are very much against this change because if we had had the top two primary in place in the 2018 governor's race, Floridians would have only had a choice between Ron DeSantis and Adam Putnam. No Democrat would have made the list because both of those Republicans got more votes in their primary than did the Democrats.
Now, some say the risk here is if one party effectively shuts out the election, there could actually be less representation for minorities and moderate or undecided voters. The amendment needs 60% of voters' support to pass, and if it's approved, it would take effect on January 1st of 2024. Now, our goal here at Fox 4 is to continue to bring you coverage on the election and clarify what you're going to see on your ballot so you can be informed as you vote on November 3rd or if you're doing early voting. So keep it here on Fox 4, not just on air, but online as well at fox4now.com. We have all the latest information when it comes to the upcoming election.